So there was a little bit of a boop boop there, but I can explain.
Yeah, we were wild and free, and you know everything about me. So wild and free, and you know everything about me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Wren and I'm on a journey to lose 150 pounds. That's Nala. Let's see if we could see her. Hi Nala. Hi kitty. I am up in my daughter's room right now filming because there is nowhere else quiet in my house. And by quiet, I mean like where I won't be bothered. I've gained a lot of new followers from TikTok again. So if you are coming here from TikTok, hi guys, hey. Welcome to my channel where I am now horizontal instead of vertical. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can follow along on my journey. I am just starting. I mean, I've been going for a while on this journey, but it is still the beginning of my journey. So make sure you hit the subscribe button to follow along. This is where I'll be posting my weekly weigh-ins and stuff. I won't be doing them on TikTok because it's just such a short format and there's a lot more than just what the scale says going on during my weight loss journey. So I don't want to just post a shot of a scale, you know, on TikTok. There's a lot more that goes into it during my week. So I will be posting all my weekly weigh-ins here on this channel. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. I made a little list. So if I'm looking at my paper, I apologize. So it is now officially the end of week 2 for me. This is my week 2 weigh-in. If you guys didn't know, if you want to check out my week 1, it'll be linked down below. So yeah, it is the end of week 2 for me. It's also the end of my phase 1 on my diet plan. I know a lot of you will be new here. So in a nutshell, I have taken my goals and broken them up into smaller pieces and then created phases for them so that I'm not starting like with 45 minutes of exercise, drinking a gallon of water a day. Like I didn't go from like couch to like gallon of water a day. I didn't do that. I broke it up into smaller pieces so that I can start small. I started really small this time and just slowly phase my way up. Of course, I've mentioned this before, but when you're building healthy habits, starting small really, really helps because the smaller you start, the like less willpower it even takes. Like you don't even need any willpower or like really motivation to get started if you just make it a really small, easy task. So my phase 1 was drinking 48 ounces of water a day and working out for at least 5 minutes a day. And then also on the food side, I was trying to stay at or below 1,750 calories a day. The food part will be changing going forward, so hold on for that. But so that was my phase 1, and then phase 2 now going forward is going to be moving it up a little bit. So working out 10 minutes a day now every day for 2 weeks, and then drinking 64 ounces of water a day. So I'm just adding basically like 1 bottle of water a day to my water consumption. So phase 3 goes up 5 more minutes on the exercise, and then like another 16 ounces on the water, boom, 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 until I get to phase 6 is the last phase, where it's 30 minutes a day of working out and then drinking a gallon of water a day. The whole point of that is to build up your healthy habits slowly, so it makes it easier to start. And then the time frame there, studies have shown that it takes anywhere from 18 to 254 days to create a habit. But in the study, they found it was an average of 66 days for people to have those healthy habits become like a new behavior for them. So I'm really shooting for more than 66 days. So you really want to shoot for doing it longer than the 66 days. I call this diet plan of mine my DIY diet. It's just a plan I created for myself, but you can create your own plans, you know, just replace it with your goals that you have. You know, you can start smaller. You can start for you if like you work out a lot more usually, you could start bigger than my start was, you know. Instead of like starting something, you can like stop something. So if you drink like 12 cans of Diet Coke a day, you can be like, you know, phase 1, drink only 11 cans of Diet Coke a day. Phase 2, okay, now we're into drinking 10 cans a day, and slowly work your way down. You could do that too, because creating healthy habits doesn't have to mean like starting something new or adding things. You can be taking away the bad things too, right? Okay, hopefully all that made sense. That being said, let's get into my stats for the end of week 2, which is also the end of phase 1. So 2 weeks ago, I started at 316.2 pounds. My weigh-in at the end of week 1 was 313.9 pounds. So I had lost some there. But then this week now, I'm weighing in at 315.5 pounds. So there was a little bit of a boop boop there, but I can explain. So that is a overall total weight loss on phase 1 of my DIY diet of 0.7 pounds. So I did have a loss overall. Okay, I want to make so many comments right now, but I'm just gonna go into my measurements really quickly. When I was doing this before Thanksgiving, before I went like way off the wagon, I was showing you guys my body and stuff, like doing a weekly video take and stuff, but that just takes so much editing and stuff for me to do, and I'm basically around the same weight as I was when I started the last time, so I'm just gonna include that video here. So this is my body. So let's get into the measurements. You guys hear that like dog attack? Okay, so, oh, here's Nala. She's like, I'm all done now. Do you need some help? Oh. Oh. Oh, were those doggies scary? They sound pretty scary, don't they? Go on. Okay, so let's get into the measurements here. I'll just turn this so I could fit my little grid for you guys to see visually. There, I'll put it here. So when I started 2 weeks ago, my arm measured in at 15 inches. My upper chest, which is right at my like armpit line, measured in at 47 inches. My bra line, which is below my breasts, measured in at 49 inches. I do those 2 measurements because I'm just more trying to measure like my back fat, you know? Let's see, my waist measured in at 40, sorry, no, 40, no, not yet, honey, not yet. My waist measured in at 58 3/4 inches, which I do right at like my belly button line. My hips measured in at 61 inches, which my hips I measure around the biggest kind of part of my butt and like under my belly. My right leg, I do my right thigh is what I do, and that measured in at 29.75 inches when I started. Now my current measurements here at the end of phase 1 aren't that good. My arm measured in at 14 3/4 inches, so I'm down a 1/4 inch there. My upper chest measured in at 48 1/4 inches, so I'm up 1 1/4 inches there. My bra line measured in at 49 1/4 inches, so I'm up a 1/4 inch. My waist 59 inches, up another 1/4 there. My hips measured in at 60 3/4 inches, so I'm down a 1/4 inch there. And then my right thigh measured in at 29 1/4 inches, so I'm down a 1/2 inch there. Move your back now. When I saw these numbers, I was immediately like bummed, but we need to look at the bigger picture here. I'm telling myself, I'm telling you guys. So this first phase, I was starting with 5 minutes a day of exercise, okay? And then only drinking 48 ounces of water a day. And I'll talk more about this here next. My food, I did not do very well on my food at all in the last couple weeks. I could have done way better on that. So the fact that I wasn't doing super good on my dieting part, and that I'm only working out for around 5 minutes a day, and I'm only drinking 48 ounces of water a day, and I still lost 0.7 pounds, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's a good first little step, okay? So just think about it. Once I tighten up the stuff with the food, good, that's gonna be great. Now I'm doubling up the exercise, 10 minutes a day. That's gonna help, and I'm drinking more water now. So this is just, you know, just like the habit building will grow, so will the weight loss. So I'm not gonna let this discourage me. Like, I'm not gonna let it get me down, because like that's pretty amazing. That's amazing. Good job, Wren. Good job, Wren. Okay, so let's talk about the food part here. Week 1, I had a couple days there where, you know, I mentioned in my previous weigh-in that it was like our anniversary and we were celebrating my husband's birthday. There was 2 or 3 days there where I think it was 2 days, where I just didn't track my calories. I still tried to get my exercise in and my water in. And then going into last week, my issue was the 1,750 calories, okay? So the calorie counting, and this is where a lot of people probably don't like calorie counting. I don't know. It's just like, since I've gone from having free foods, if you're new here, what I was doing before I started back up this time is I had a lot of free foods that I didn't track. There's a couple diet programs that do this, where they give you some select free foods that you don't need to track. You can just eat as much as you want of them, basically. I learned this when I did WW a couple years back, and I really enjoyed having those, so I implemented them then. I thought going around this time that I wouldn't have those. I would just try to track everything just to be sure exactly what I was eating. But like, I don't like it. And it's not like I don't like it so much. What I found is when I wake up in the morning, I'm immediately like, oh my God, I only have this much left. Okay, so I have this much left. So like, what can I have for breakfast? Like, maybe I'll just have this. Oh my God, but an egg is 70 calories. Oh, see, eggs are free. When I was doing it the last time, eggs were free. I'll get more into the free foods here in a minute, but like having to track the things that were free before, just really, it sounds crazy, but like it just gave me this like anxiety about every calorie I was eating in the day, and like every time I was eating something, it was almost like I was taking a hit. Like oh, now I only have this much left. Oh no, now I only have this much left. And like, it was like getting to me in my brain. And it made me, this week, there was one day where I was just like, I can't do this. Like, it was just like stressing me out in a weird way. So I just like gave up that day and didn't track anything I was eating. Okay, so I am actually editing this right now, and I forgot to add one more thing in about the subject here. Another thing I found myself doing when I was tracking every single calorie and not having the free foods is whenever I was like hungry for like a snack, I found myself even like avoiding fruits and vegetables because like it's just more calories coming off of the total at the end of the night. Because like an apple, a large apple, is like 120 calories. So in my mind, you see, that's so unhealthy to say because an apple, it's like, oh, it's 120 calories. Like that's so many calories, but it's an apple. Like it's good for you, right? But my brain was still like, you know? Yeah, so that's another like negative thing I found myself doing by taking away my free foods. So, okay, back to the video. That's when I realized I'm like, okay, I need to implement these free foods again. So I just sat down and I just kind of started over again, just figuring out the diet part of this weight loss plan for me. I went back and looked at figuring out my BMR, my basal metabolic rate, which is basically the amount of calories your body burns in a normal day, just doing your normal, what you do every day. Because of course, just like, you know, walking to the bathroom, sleeping, breathing, you know, like your body just being alive is burning calories, right? So I did 5 different calculators to determine what my BMR was. I don't think I have all that here. This is what I would recommend you guys do if you're trying to figure out how many calories you should be eating in a day. And of course, you could talk with your doctor too and see if they could probably figure this out for you too. So I did 5 different calculators. I put in my info and it gave me 5 different calorie amounts that I should be eating every day, which is funny because it seems like it would be one generic calculator that everybody would use on all the different websites. That's not the case. So I got the calorie amounts from all the 5 different ones. And then I averaged them out. What is that average, Wren? I didn't grab that paper. It's downstairs. I'm not gonna go get it. So I will probably just be popping information up over here. After I figured out that average, it came to this amount. So according to all the calculators, this is how many calories I need to be eating in a day to just stay the same weight, to just stay the same, right? But I don't want to stay the same. I want to lose. So if you factor in the fact that doctors say it's safe to lose like anywhere from a pound to like 2.5 pounds a week is like the normal safety zone, right? So you think about that. So for me, I'd like to lose anywhere from a pound to 2 pounds a week too. So if you factor in that a pound of fat weighs about 3,500 calories, 35 divided by 7 days a week, that's 500 calories a day you would need to subtract from your BMR to lose 1 pound a week, right? 2 pounds a week, subtract 1,000. Now that being said, though, you know, if you took that number and then subtracted 1,000, you get this number. And this number is scary. This number, a lot of people would be freaking out about if I was doing that number, right? Because it just seems so unhealthy. And that's where like the exercise comes in. You know, talk to your guys' doctor. Maybe if you go over this with your doctor and they give you a calorie target goal that looks like that number, great, good for you. But for me, that kind of number scares me. I have a lot of people now who are following my journey and I don't want for it to come off like I'm doing anything like drastically unhealthy, you know what I mean? I mean, although I'm 315 pounds, I can lose 2 pounds a week. That I could easily do that, right? But I want it to be more from my water consumption and I want it to be from my exercise, you know? So I've decided to subtract enough for 1.5 pounds a week just in the food. So that's 750 calories minus that. So that comes out to this number. Sorry, I don't have the paper. That being said, now going into the free foods, obviously when you eat food, it has calories in it, right? So just because I'm like, oh, well, I'm an egg, 70 calories, it's free now, it's 0. Like obviously it still has calories. So I sat down and figured out kind of how many calories of the free foods I would be eating roughly in a day on average, and basically subtracted that from that number, that last number, so that way when I'm eating, it's still covered, right? So if you factor in my free foods that on average I'll be eating, that brings me to this number, which looks scary, right? It looks scary. It looks scary, but it's not. It's just a mind trick. I'm not really eating 1,000 calories a day. I'm eating 1,000 tracked calories a day, and then I am not counting all of these foods. basically what I'm going off of is the free foods that I could have had on Weight Watchers. I can't remember. There's people told me there's a couple other diets that have their free foods included too, but I'm just going to give you the list that Weight Watchers kind of works off of, and I'll have that listed down below if you guys are curious. But basically, it's this: it's lean protein. They're lean protein, so for me that means, I'm sorry for you guys who have been here for a while because you've heard this like a few times, but for me it's 99% fat-free ground turkey, chicken breasts, non-fat Greek yogurt, and what else? Chicken? Oh, and eggs. Okay? Those are free for my protein. Yes, and if you look at the list, there's like fish and all these other things you can do, but I don't really eat fish. My husband hates fish, so I don't really cook fish in the house too much. But I encourage you to look at it, like tofu, that's on the list. Look at the list to see what will work for you guys if you want to do this too. Also, non-starchy vegetables. So basically all the veggies except for potatoes, sweet potatoes, stuff like that. And then all fruit, including pineapple and bananas. Some people are like, but banana, yes, you can have those for free too. And then what else? There's like a list of legumes and stuff. So like black beans, basically whole black beans in the can, I won't track but I'll look at the can. You know, some cans like have like added fats. If you look at the ingredients, they will have some added fat in there. So I try to just get a very plain organic bean, and those I won't track. So like refried beans you got to look at, because refried beans usually have fat added into it, which you can just take your whole beans and smush them and put a little bit of milk or something. Anyway, so those are the foods I won't be tracking going forward. And I've actually been doing this for a couple days now. People might just say, well, you can have free foods. Well, you're just like gonna eat a ton of them then, and then your calories will be crazy, and you know. But here's the thing, like I'm just little old me. I'm just little old Wren over here. I luckily did not have to do all this research, but giant companies have already done this research for us. So if you look into it, they found that people do not tend to overeat on this free foods list. You're not going to find a lot of people who are going to like, you know, binge eat a bunch of bananas or, you know, a giant bowl of pineapple. Obviously, you shouldn't be having a giant bowl of pineapple or maybe 10 bananas in a day. Some people would disagree with that. But, you know, it's like, you know, so for instance, avocado. Avocado is not a free food because people do tend to overeat their avocado, because really quick avocado can add up on the calories, right? So avocados are not on the free food list, which mama can definitely eat a lot of avocado. So I'm glad for that. You know, try it out. Like if you're somebody who like is obsessed with bananas or like strawberries or something, I mean, you guys know you better than I do. So just give it a try. And if you have foods on that list that are like bingeable foods for you, maybe don't put them on the list. Just have that one be the one that you're tracking. Just like cross it off, you know? Make it work for you. It's your DIY diet. Make it work for you, right? Yeah, so going forward, that's going to be my diet plan going into phase 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll see. So stay tuned for weekly weigh-ins here. Go check out my TikTok to get, you know, like I'm sharing a bunch of like different things I'm eating in the day. I do have a lot of things happening on TikTok, so definitely go check me out over there. And make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can follow along on this journey. And good luck to you guys too on your journeys. I'm so glad that we found each other and we can help each other out. And yeah. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Please ignore any stray hairs that are just like